Most people grow plants and then just keep them. What very few realize is that 5 specific plants can go from a seedling you barely paid for to a sale-ready pot in under 90 days. No greenhouse, no special equipment, no experience beyond what any serious home grower already has. Welcome to Plant ER, where smart growers discover plant ideas that actually make sense. In this video, we are walking through 5 plants that are genuinely well suited to a short grow and sell cycle. Each one has been chosen based on propagation speed, everyday buyer demand, and realistic return for a home-scale grower. If you have not subscribed yet, now is a good time. We cover practical plant ideas like this every week. One important note before we begin. The 5th plant in this list behaves very differently from the first 4. It takes slightly more patience up front, but what it gives back over time makes it the most strategically interesting option here. Stay through to the end, because that one is worth understanding fully. Before we get into the 5 plants, it helps to understand what actually makes a plant worth flipping at home. Not every fast-growing plant is a good flip candidate, and not every popular plant is one either. There are 3 things that need to line up for this to work practically. First, the plant must be fast to reach a sellable size from a cutting or seedling. Second, it must have consistent everyday buyer demand, meaning people are actively looking to buy it, not just admiring it. Third, the input cost needs to be low enough that the gap between what you spend and what you earn is genuinely meaningful. When all 3 align, you have a plant worth your time and space. When only 1 or 2 align, the math usually does not work well enough at home scale. Every plant in this list was chosen because all 3 conditions are reasonably met. That is not always easy to find, which is why most growers never think about it this way. The first plant is Basil. Of the 5 in this list, Basil moves from seedling to a presentable, sellable pot faster than almost anything else a home grower can reasonably work with. In warm conditions with good light, Basil can reach a full, bushy, purchase-ready size in roughly 4 to 6 weeks from a healthy seedling. That is an unusually short turnaround for a plant you can charge a reasonable price for. The key to making Basil work as a flip is presentation. A single thin seedling does not look like much, but when you plant 3 to 5 seedlings together in one container and give them a few weeks to fill out, the pot looks full, healthy, and ready to use. That visual fullness is what drives the buying decision. People buy potted basil because they want something they can bring home and start using in their kitchen immediately. When the pot looks abundant, the buying impulse is strong. Basil also has one of the widest everyday demand pools of any herb, home cooks, people who enjoy cooking outdoors, small cafe owners, and anyone who regularly uses fresh herbs are all natural buyers. You are not chasing a niche audience. You are selling into a need that millions of households already have. The realistic limitation is that basil is seasonal in cooler climates. It thrives in warmth and does not enjoy cold. If your climate is suitable for most of the year, basil can be a consistent and fast-moving flip plant that rewards the low effort it requires. The second plant is mint. And what makes mint stand out from the others in this list is where the cost calculation begins. Most plants require you to buy seeds or starter seedlings. Mint does not. If you already have one healthy mint plant, or can access a single cutting from a neighbor, a market, or any existing source, you can multiply it into a significant number of sellable pots at essentially no material cost beyond soil and containers. A mint cutting placed in water will develop visible roots within 1 to 2 weeks in warm conditions. Once rooted, it can be moved into a small pot and grown on to a presentable full size in another 3 to 5 weeks. The total timeline from cutting to sale-ready plants sits comfortably within the 90-day window. and the input cost is about as low as it gets for any sellable plant. Buyer demand for potted mint is strong and consistent. People want mint for teas, for cooking, for drinks, and for home kitchen use. It is one of those plants that buyers purchase, use heavily, and come back to replace. That repeat purchase behavior makes it particularly useful if you are building any kind of ongoing small plant selling operation rather than a one-time sale. One thing worth noting with mint is that it spreads aggressively when planted in open ground. Buyers should understand they are buying a container plant. Keeping it in a pot is actually the sensible choice for most households, which means your sales format is naturally aligned with how the plant is best managed. The third plant is Pothos. In the indoor houseplant category, Pothos is one of the most reliably saleable plants a home grower can work with, and the propagation logic is particularly strong. A healthy Pothos stem cutting taken with at least one node will begin developing roots in water within 2 to 3 weeks. Once rooted and potted, the plant will trail and fill out in a further 4 to 6 weeks, depending on the light and warmth available. The full seedling to sellable timeline typically fits within 60 to 75 days, which keeps it well inside your 90-day window. What makes Pothos a strong flip choice is not just the speed, it is the audience. Pothos suits low-light apartments, busy people who do not water frequently, beginners who want something forgiving, and anyone looking for a simple, attractive indoor plant as a gift or home addition. That is a very wide pool of potential buyers, and it is a pool that exists year-round. Another practical advantage is that Pothos is exceptionally forgiving during the grow-on phase. It tolerates inconsistent watering, lower light levels, and average indoor temperatures without punishing the grower heavily. That reduces the risk of losing a batch to avoidable care mistakes. Pricing for Pothos at home seller scale tends to sit in the modest range, so the financial return is most meaningful when you are working with several pots at once, rather than trying to make large margins from a single plant. Volume and consistency are where the return on Pothos becomes genuinely worthwhile. The fourth plant is the spider plant, and it earns its place in this list for a reason that none of the other plants can match quite as naturally. A mature, healthy spider plant produces its own plantlets. These are the small trailing offshoots that appear on long stems from the parent plant. Each one a ready-made new plant waiting to be rooted and potted. You do not need to take cuttings. You do not need to take cuttings. You do not need to propagate from seed. The plant essentially prepares your next sellable batch for you. A spider plant plantlet placed in a container of water will typically root within 2 to 3 weeks. Once rooted, it can be potted into a small container and will grow onto a full, attractive hanging or potted presentation in another 4 to 6 weeks. The combined timeline sits comfortably within 90 days, and in many cases it can happen faster than that, particularly in warmer months with good indirect light. Buyer appeal for spider plants is broad and well established. They are popular as beginner houseplants, as children's first plants, as easy gifting choices, and as compact indoor greenery for households that want something reliable without strong care demands. They also tolerate low light fairly well and are widely known as resilient, which makes them an easy recommendation even for buyers who have struggled with other plants before. For a home grower managing multiple flip plants at once, spider plants offer the lowest ongoing effort of any option in this list, because the parent plant keeps producing new material without you needing to do anything beyond basic care. This is the plant I mentioned at the very beginning, the one that operates differently, the one worth staying for. That plant is Aloe Vera, and understanding why it is on this list requires thinking about it differently from the first 4. Basil, mint, pothos, and spider plant all follow a relatively straightforward path. You start from a cutting or seedling, you grow it on, and within 60 to 90 days, you have something to sell. Aloe vera does not quite work that way, and that difference is actually what makes it more interesting over time, not less. A mature, well-established aloe vera plant produces offshoots from its base. These are called pups, and they are small rosettes that appear naturally alongside the parent plant. Each pup, when it is large enough to be carefully separated, comes with its own developing root system. You pot it into a container with well-draining soil, give it bright indirect light, water it sparingly, and within 60 to 90 days you have a healthy, presentable potted aloe vera plant that is genuinely ready for a buyer. The timeline is real. But the deeper value is in what happens with the parent plant. One aloe vera kept in good health will continue producing pups over time, and each of those pups becomes another sellable plant. You are not just flipping one plant, you are building a system that quietly produces new sellable material on a recurring basis, without needing to spend on seeds or cuttings repeatedly. That is a compounding return structure that none of the first 4 plants offer in quite the same way. Buyer demand for potted aloe vera is also extremely consistent. It is one of the most recognized houseplants globally. It is associated with practical, everyday use, and it attracts buyers across a wide age range and household type. The one honest note is patience. Aloe vera pups need to reach a reasonable size before they can be separated cleanly. Rushing that separation before the pup has a stable root system is a common mistake that reduces the chance of a healthy outcome. If you give the pup the time it needs before separating it, the grow-on phase is straightforward and the results are reliable. For any home grower thinking about flipping plants not just as a short-term experiment, but as a small ongoing activity, aloe vera is the one plant on this list that builds something durable rather than just completing a single cycle. To bring all 5 together clearly, basil is your fastest turnaround with the widest daily kitchen demand. Mint is your lowest input cost option with strong repeat purchase behavior. Pothos is your most consistent indoor flip with a broad year-round audience. Spider plant is your lowest ongoing effort choice because the parent plant does the propagation work for you. And aloe vera is your most strategically durable option, the one that rewards patience with a compounding return that keeps producing over time. None of these 5 require a greenhouse. None require specialist knowledge. What they do require is honest attention, choosing the right plant for your current setup, giving it the care it needs during the grow-on phase, and presenting it properly when it is ready. If you found this useful, please give the video a like. It helps this kind of practical content reach more growers who could actually use it. If you are planning to try any of these plants, or if you have already flipped a plant and want to share what worked for you, leave a comment below. And if you want to keep finding plant ideas that are genuinely worth your time, subscribe to Plant ER. We will see you in the next one.